back. It's Bart.
And it's Ben.
And we're here to talk about all free agency. We were going to wait until the biggest bomb dropped, which was the Kwahi. And Ben, it wasn't a bomb. It was a nuke. It was an A-bomb. Kawhi Leonard not only signs with the Clippers, but the Clippers with a massive haul of not only draft picks, but players and with Gilgeous-Alexander, young players, and Gallinari, a veteran, trade all of them to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Paul George. Let's diagnose that first, and then we'll get to the other people.
Well, I think the Thunder's future is looking bright. I mean, the way they're heading, it's definitely a rebuild, but with 5 future draft picks, with a young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and with Gallinari, they have some pieces where they can rebuild and just have a lot of hope for the future. And there's rumors that Russell Westbrook will get traded soon as well. So you can only imagine they're trying to get more picks and more young guys to continue and to really jumpstart this rebuild that no one really even expected them to start.
I mean, looking back at it, it's kind of like they're doing what I think the Rockets want to do.
Well,
they're trying to blow it up, but blow it up in
they're following the Celtics mold.
Right.
They're following the Celtics mold.
Which was blow it up but get good pieces. Like when Celtics blew it up.
Get as many picks as you can and do as little deals as you can.
Right. Because, the Celtics, their big deal was they did that massive trade with the Nets that sent them Paul Pierce and KG for Gerald Wallace and all the draft picks that have since turned into Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, guys who are now faces of the franchise. Now, let's look for the Clippers' perspective. This, according to Vegas, has put them as the number 1 title contender, title odds, whatever you want to call it, in the NBA. Does this team win the championship next year with the roster they have now? They re-signed Zubac for 4 years, the restricted free agent, the center. They re-signed him. You're going to have Danny Green signed with the Lakers. So you're going to have Kawhi, you're going to have Paul George.
Yeah.
Lou Williams, more than likely, still going to come off the bench. I think they might as well just name the Sixth Man Award after him. So what do you see them doing next year as far as do they go out win it next year, or what can they do, in your opinion?
Well, they'll definitely compete. I think they hit a home run, though, getting Kawhi Leonard and then getting Paul George on the team. They definitely hit a home run. No one really saw them doing it. I mean, people predicted that he would go to the Clippers. It was known that was one of his targets teams to end up at, but no one really thought it was going to happen. And the fact that the Clippers were able to pull it off is a miracle, and it's great for the city of LA that they have 2 teams that they now can cheer on. They have a rivalry within the city, and it's going to be an incredible season. I'm looking forward to it.
I completely agree. I think what this does, I mean, he had gone to LA. It's like we were saying earlier. If he'd gone to LA, that would have been great because they would have just ransacked the whole league, kind of like the Warriors had done the past couple of years. But him going to LA, but for the Clippers, I think you can go into this year and you have a handful of teams that you can make cases for to win an NBA championship. 2 of them just happen to be in the same city. But I personally think that this puts them in a nice, but it's kind of like they're now in a win now scenario because you trade the future with all those draft picks.
Yeah.
Now with 2 of the picks they'll get picks, but it's kind of like just swapping of the picks. I see this as a great scenario now, but in 5-10 years, we may be looking at the Thunder being the winners of the trade. But it all depends on what the Thunder's A do with those picks, and B what the Clippers are able to do with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard together.
When you hand the keys of your franchise into Kawhi Leonard's hands, there's really no telling.
Good things seem to happen, though.
Good things definitely seem to happen, but one player, there's definitely no telling what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see and fun to watch. I'm excited.
I agree. Now, the biggest bombs, of course, hit on the first day of free agency, which was Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant going to the Nets. Kevin Durant obviously will more than likely not play this year, and who knows when he will be back the next year. So the man's basically been paid for a year and a half of multi-hundreds of millions of dollars to do nothing. Man, that would be a nice life to have. But what do you see once he is back and he is quote-unquote healthy? Is he the same Kevin Durant? Because we saw how Boogie Cousins was. I mean, just because you come back from an Achilles does not necessarily mean that you're going to be the same. I mean, because you have other injuries that are complicated with the Achilles injury. That's what the deal was with I mean, they said it was his quad the whole time, or his calf, and ended up being his Achilles. Same thing that would happen with Kawhi. That was the whole reason Kawhi did not play his last year in San Antonio. But the big thing everyone saw was you saw what happened to Boogie Cousins. He tears his Achilles, he comes back, and he is not the same player. So is Kevin Durant going to be the same in your opinion?
That's a hard question to answer. There's a lot of factors. What I would say is the Warriors clearly rushed Cousins. You can't expect anyone to be back in basketball shape after a month of rehab.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. And DeMarcus Cousins didn't have a full year to recover either.
He had.
So you look at it that way.
Right.
As long as the Nets take it slow and actually let Kevin Durant heal fully, I think he could come back stronger than ever. There's definitely still that potential there, and he's still an all-star, all-league caliber player. There's no doubt about it, and I think he comes back, may even win MVP. Who knows? I mean, I don't see. There's definitely a potential that he won't come back, but it won't be the same. But it's more than likely that he's even better.
Right. Now, the other team, obviously in the West,
now does he help the Nets win a championship? I don't know.
I don't. Well, my thing is like there. I think the Nets are now, and because you're getting two guys with Kyrie and Kevin, and then obviously again they signed DeAndre Jordan, but he has not really been a name since he was traded from the Clippers. But you get two guys who had to either someone come help them or had to leave a location to win championships. With Kyrie, it was LeBron coming back. With KD, it was obviously going to Golden State. So you have two guys who have a lot to prove because mentally you have to think that their legacy is in their minds that maybe, I need to win a championship without those guys. I need to win a championship without LeBron if you're Kyrie. I need to win a championship without Clay and Steph and the Golden State War and Draymond if you're KD. I personally think, I agree with you though, they will not win a championship however many years this team is together. Will they contend? Maybe the East. I mean, the East is kind of up in the air now besides the Bucks. But let's switch to the other team in the California in the West, the Warriors. They re-signed Klay Thompson, who, of course, is going to be out for about 6 to 8 months with his ACL surgery. But they get D'Angelo Russell in a sign-and trade with the Nets. The Warriors next year, they may have a three-guard lineup in their starting lineup, obviously more than likely. But what do you see the Warriors doing next year now that they, quite honestly, could be considered by some with an unhealthy Clay the third best team in the state after being the best team in the world the past 5 years?
Yeah, I think honestly, an honest prediction is they lose the most games they've lost under Steve Kerr. I think with all the injuries, with all the losses that they've had this past season, this off season, they're going to have a tough year. It's going to be very challenging for them to compete in the West with all the star power that is in the West. I don't know how they fare. I couldn't tell you. I imagine they'll still win close to 50 games, but it'll be a struggle compared to what they're used to.
Because not only did they lose KD, obviously, but they trade away a veteran franchise piece in Andre Iguodala to the Memphis Grizzlies. And let's talk about that. We are Grizzlies fans. We are not shy about that. Let's talk about the Grizzlies front office and the moves they've made, which we've discussed it. We love every move they've made so far. Drafting the John Morant. I mean, we said our predictions about it should have been RJ, but it is what it is. They drafted the guy that they felt was the best player. So we need to hope that they're right for the future of the franchise.
Yeah.
But you draft Ja, you trade away Chandler Parsons in that horrific contract. The man made over like $100 million per point, or $100,000, per point that he had for the Grizzlies. What are your thoughts on all the moves? Trading Chandler Parsons, trading Mike Conley, and getting back all those guys that we got. What have you so far thought about the new Grizzlies front office?
I've really loved what they've done. I think they've definitely loaded up on assets. They've traded away. They're actually pursuing a rebuild, which is something that the previous ownership and general manager had basically refused to do. He was caught up in the past. I'm really excited for the future. We've already discussed that I think RJ Barrett should have been drafted over John Morant, and we'll see how that plays out. But all along I said if they draft Ja, which I think they will, I'd still be happy with it. He's still a top 3 player in the draft, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Everyone, if he fell to 3, he would have been drafted at 3. There's no question. And so I'm really excited. John and Jaron will be fun to watch. They re-signed Jonas Valanciunas, which is a good grab. They got him for a pretty good price as well.
Only $15 million over 3 years.
And so, I mean, they've really done a lot of good things. They traded away some guys that we needed to get rid of, and they've getting rid of Chandler Parsons was huge for the new membership or new ownership and how the team is looked at by the city. Definitely excited about what the GM has done, and he's really provided new energy and spark behind the team. I think a lot of the young guys are energized, and hopefully we keep Iguodala, in my opinion. But if we don't, it's still a good get because who knows what we'll get for him.
Well, and that's my thing. And I mean, there's been all this uproar because it does not look like they will buy him out. It looks like they will just.
It'd be stupid to buy him out.
Well, and that's my thing, because there are some people who say, Grizzlies do the right thing, let him go, buy him out, all this stuff.
Why would you buy a player out that everyone wants?
Exactly, that's my thing. Yes, sure, we should buy him out, I got an argument with some. I mean, I think it was
spend $6 million so someone else can pay him 10.
Well, and my thing is, I got an argument. I think it was a computer on Twitter who said that it was going to be a black mark on the franchise because they did not buy him out.
That's absurd.
That's absurd. Oh, because he said something about NBA's players have good memories. Oh, if they have good memories, they'll see that the 2 franchise centerpieces that we have been faces of the franchise the past decade. We traded one to a title contender when we were offered more by teams that sucked, i.e. the Hornets. We were offered more by the Hornets, but we traded him. Granted, we got a lot back, and we got Jonas Valanciunas. We traded Marcus All to the Raptors. He won a championship. We trade Mike to a young and up-and-coming, and we get a good get for him, a young and up-and-coming Jazz team. You can't tell me that teams won't remember that, that players will not remember that either. We take care of our own. We don't have to do anything that we don't want to do. If we want to say, hey, no, because he has a market in the buyout world, which means he has a market in the trade market.
If anything, it looks bad on the Warriors.
Exactly.
The Warriors have handled a lot of things questionably recently, the past year or so. Playing Kevin Durant.
Because what are the Warriors even? Because the whole Andre Iguodala trade, that was just a 15-team trade with the sign-and trade with the Nets. We really, to my knowledge so far, have not given anything up in the sign-and trade. In the trade for Andre Iguodala to the Warriors. It was kind of like a multi-team trade that included, I think, the Conley trade. But you get a definite first-round pick, more than likely going to be the first year of the pick, unless the Warriors just fall off a cliff. Because the first year of the pick's like a 1 to 5, 1 to 4 protected. You're going to get that pick, more than likely. And you get a veteran who either, if he doesn't play for you, you can get pieces for, or assets, young assets, or draft picks for. And if he does, he brings a veteran leadership that I think this team needs with 2 young, up-and-coming, and hopefully superstars in Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let's get to the team that, if you watched ESPN, Stephen A. Smith was all about it. They missed. They missed on everybody they wanted to. They didn't get Kyrie. They didn't get Zion. They didn't get anybody. Well, they got RJ.
Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis. That I guess, but that was their big get. The New York Knicks. Now, I personally have had this in my mind in my lifetime, which has been since 1997. The New York Knicks have probably had about let's just go the last decade. Who has had more success? Our hometown Memphis Grizzlies or the New York Knicks?
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Who's been in more conference finals? The Grizzlies. Granted, there was only one and we were swept, but the Knicks haven't been to one since 1999, I believe. So you cannot tell me that New York, yes, it's New York, I understand that, but it is not the free agent destination that it really never, because when was the last time they really signed a big name free agent? I could not tell you. I mean, yes, this was a team that was great in the 70s, was obviously really good in the 90s under Pat Riley, but they really have not done anything the past 20 plus years. I just do not see what this obsession with is, oh, it's New York, we're great. I don't see where they get that sort of arrogance. Yes, sorry, could not find the word. Arrogance from it. And I just don't agree with it. And I'm happy that they missed out on all their free agents that they wanted.
Well, they're just being forced to do it, honestly. I think it'll turn out better for them the way they do it now. I think because they're not spoiled this way. They've been through hardship. They're going to go through more hardship.
Right.
They have a lot of young players, and they're not that good.
Right. Well,
it's kind of sad, and they traded their best player away for Dennis Smith Jr. and DeAndre Jordan. Well, DeAndre Jordan's gone, and Dennis Smith Jr. is still bad. So, I don't know what they're doing. It's questionable. But, it is what it is. The Knicks are terrible. They'll probably be terrible for a couple more years. But it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
I agree. Well, this is Bart.
And this has been...
if you have hate towards this video, you can add us at AaronSimpson73 and at
Ben_Holt_21.
But you can't hate because we're right.
And I'm singing this song